합기도의 창시자는 최용수 선생님이십니다.
The founder of Hapkido is Grandmaster Che Yong-sul.
지한재 씨는 저희 스승 되십니다.
Grandmaster Jihan Jae is my teacher. The goal of Hapkido training is, first, to learn personal self-protection skills. Second, to protect family. Third, to protect our community. Fourth, to serve the country.
합기도의 일반적인 철학은 합기도의 무도를
The ultimate goal of Hapkido is to build well-rounded character.
합기도는 상대방 힘을 이용해서 제압하는 기술이기 때문에 내 자신이
The principle of Hapkido is to utilize the opponent's force. So a little person can defeat the larger opponent by applying the principles of leverage, vital strikes, joint locks, and throws.
저희 합기도가 현재 유단자 배출이
There are about 1.2 million black belt Hapkido practitioners in Korea. There are 16 regional Hapkido headquarters in the nation. We sent Hapkido masters to over 48 nations.
극기를 참고
By overcoming hardships, one can be stronger, discover true friendships, and naturally search for a larger self for self-actualization. Jase is stance. A good jase is the most fundamental element for martial arts training. In Hapkido, there are basically two types of fighting stances, left stance and right stance. Each stance has two different ways of positioning the arms. This is called Ja Jase, or left stance. Move back your right foot and raise both arms for guarding the middle section. Then, come back to Pyung Jase, or natural stance. Move your left foot to the rear and make Wu Jase, or right stance. This is called Ja Kumgang Jase, or left diamond stance. Guard the facial section with your right forearm and the low section with your left forearm. This is Wu Kumgang Jase, or right diamond stance. Guard the facial section with your left forearm and the lower section with the right forearm. This is Paljanking Jase, or cross-arm stance. Bring your arms in front of your chest and cross them in a natural stance. Danjun means the center of the energy field. Hohop means breathing.
앞으로 밑으로 오히려 옆으로.
You must keep your hands full of energy to generate power. As water flows downward, the energy flows the same. You might think the tips of the fingers are the ends of the energy flow, but the energy that is invisible continues to flow beyond the tips. So keep your hands wide open for vital energy and dynamic power.
안으로 준비! 앞으로 나가! 밑으로 나가! 왜요? 나가! 옆으로 나가! 바로!
For the intermediate level of breathing, you can consciously bring the energy to the dungeon, compress it, and explode it through your hands or feet in all different directions. There are 3 types of advanced breathing exercises. This is Hohop Jungjabop, or sitting breathing method. Breathe quietly in meditating position. The second is Hohop Dongbop, or dynamic breathing. Raise your body and hands while inhaling. Compress it internally toward the danjun and come back to the original position. The third is Hohop Balyapop, or power breathing. Raise your body and hands while inhaling. Compress it internally toward the danjun and push upward and explode the energy. Kwanjanori, or temple, is located between the ear and the eye. You can strike it with the thumb knuckle or back fist according to your position. Indang, or front nerve, is located between the eyebrows. You can strike it with your palm heel. Inyang, or the tip of the mandible, is located under the chin. You can press it upward with the tip of your thumb. Daeung, or the middle of the mandible, is located on the side of the chin. You can push it with the knuckle of the index finger. Chonyong, or the mandible joint, is located under the ear. Chondal, or the suprasternal notch, is located in the middle of the neck. You can push it with the tip of your middle finger. Kyonjung, or the clavicle notch, is located on the collarbone. Myungchi, or solar plexus, is located right below the xiphoid process. You can strike it with the tips of your fingers or the tip of the middle finger. Susamni, or upper forearm vital point, is located at the top of the forearm. Chuktek, or interior elbow joint, is located in the middle of the inside elbow. Sohe, or interior lower brachialis, is located under the inside elbow. Negan, or interior wrist, is located 3 fingers width above the wrist line. Hapkok, or the first metacarpal notch, is located between the thumb and index fingers. Wijung, or the posterior knee joint, is located in the middle of the rear of the knee. Sungsan, or middle of the calf, is located at the center of the calf. Nupjuk Darikupso, or the exterior thigh, is located at the end of the middle finger on the side of your leg when you stand up. There are many vital targets on the human body. Most common vital targets in martial arts practice are those areas with strong vital energy channels. They are mostly on the center line of the body. An interesting thing about vital targets is that every vital target is protected by the neighboring parts of the body. For example, Indang is protected by the projections of the frontal bone. The frontal bone and nose bone protect the top of the nose vital point. The lip and nose bone protect the injung, the vital point on the top of the upper lip. The vital point on the chin is protected by the lip and chin bone. The neck is protected by the chin and collarbone. The most vulnerable parts of the trunk are well protected by the arms. There are many fatal targets under the arm. Since the center line of the human body is covered with vital areas, strike on those areas can cause fatal impact. However, if you strike again at the opposite side of the first impact, it can relieve the damage. In other words, the first strike is for killing, the second for resuscitating. That is why, after brutal injuries from multiple blows in a fight, you can survive. Energy circulates from the danjun clockwise upward to the heart, spreading all over the body. So, if you strike to the solar plexus while the energy is circulating, it stops the flow. When the flow stops, life ends. If you strike the front and back at the same time, it might stop the flow completely, which causes death. The frontal targets carry yang energy, and the rear yin energy. When you strike the yin and yang at the same time, the flow stops. Against a wrist grab, twist your wrist downward out of the grip. Then, strike the solar plexus with your elbow, followed by a back fist strike to the injung, or the anterior nasal spine. When you take the wrist out, for easy escape, twist it toward the thumb and pull toward you. Against a wrist grab, twist your wrist downward out of the grip and strike the diaphragm with your knife hand. Against a wrist grab, twist your wrist downward out of the grip and strike the neck with your knife hand. Against a wrist grab, twist your wrist downward out of the grip and strike the temple with your back fist. Against a wrist grab, raise your arm and hit the rib cage with a lateral elbow strike. Against a wrist grab, grab his collar and twist your wrist and get out of the grip, and attack his chin with an upper elbow strike. Against a wrist grab, step in and turn your body, twisting the wrist and escaping from the grip. Then do an elbow strike to the rib cage. Against a wrist grip, raise and pull his arm, then kick his thigh with your heel. Against a wrist grab, step in and turn your body. Do a heel kick to the chest. Against a wrist grab, step in and strike his wrist to get your wrist out of the grip. Turn your body and do a rear elbow strike to the solar plexus and back fist to the injung, the anterior nasal spine. You must develop your eyesight speed. With good eye speed, your hand can function with proper technique and timing. So you must have a special practice for eye-hand coordination. This block sequence is designed for that purpose. Against punching techniques, you do high blocks, inside blocks, low blocks, a two-arm raising block, and a downward block.
하나, 둘, 하다가 두 손으로 밑으로 상단 맞고 다시 상단 맞고 옆 맞고 옆 맞고 하단 맞고 하단 맞고 다시 하단 맞고 하단 맞고 두 손 올려서 맞고 두 손 밑으로 내려맞고.
When you practice alone, always practice imagining your opponent attacking from right in front of you.
하나, 둘,
Kurugi technique is the most fundamental falling technique in Hapkido. It helps you develop a special balance in motion. First, position the tip of your hand inward and touch the blade of the hand on the ground. You should tuck in the chin. Make your body round and roll. Slap the floor with the other hand to disperse the impact. Jungbang nakbok is used when the opponent pushes you from behind. First, jump as high as you can and spread your arms and legs as you land, touching the ground with the arms first, then the feet. Do not touch the ground with your trunk or knees. Once you are in the air, keep your body horizontally parallel to the ground and position your arms in a diamond shape in front of you. When the hands and forearms touch the ground, your feet get wide open and touch the ground and disperse the impact. Hubang nakbok is used when the opponent pushes you from the front. You are using both arms to land safely on the floor. When your body soars, raise your 2 feet high in the air. When you land, touch the ground with your hands and forearms. You should tuck in your chin to prevent head injury. Chukbang nakbok is to protect yourself by falling laterally either on the ground or in the air. At this time, you must concentrate your energy in the dungeon to integrate the entire body as one unit. First, raise your body as high as you can in the air and center yourself. Look at the spot where you are falling to. Touch the ground first with the closer hand and forearm, then shoulder, upper body, hip and leg in sequence. 공중 회전 is an advanced falling technique. You throw the entire body into the air and spin 270 degrees, then land on the ground safely. Your front foot pushes your body explosively into the air, making a large circle with the head as the center. Then, after spinning 270 degrees, your rear foot touches on the ground. Your hand, feet, leg, and upper body touch the ground in sequence. You must perform this technique with full confidence. Wuljang is a technique for jumping over a high obstacle. First, jump explosively using your 2 feet. Go up as high as you can. Land with both hands touching the ground and roll your body smoothly up. When your body is in the air, relax your mind and body to loosen your muscles. You must look at the falling spot before landing. Your hands, shoulder, upper body, and legs land in sequence. Do not touch your head on the ground when landing. Moli gurugi is a multiple obstacle jumping technique. The secret for distance jumping is in the efficient usage of the ki energy. The ki must be compressed and released at the right time and right distance. You should look as far as you can for practical landing while keeping your body angle for comfortable flying.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
The goal of this raising kick is to improve the flexibility of the leg muscles for high kicks. First, relax your shoulders and focus your energy to the danjun, and raise your foot over your shoulder.
이걸 차 올리 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 안다리 차기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
The purpose of the inside crescent kick is to kick the face from outside to inside. From fighting stance, stretch your leg and whip the face out to in using the elastic force of the body torque.
안다리 차기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 안다리 차기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
Outside crescent kick is a circular whipping kick to the face from inside to outside. From fighting stance, stretch your leg and whip the face in to out using the elastic force of the body torque.
둘, 셋, 넷, 옆차기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
Side kick is to push or strike the lateral opponent using the foot blade. This particular technique is done by turning the body toward the opponent in the front.
옆차기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
The goal of the foot snap kick is to do a surprise attack to the lower part of the opponent. This technique is for kicking upward to the groin section.
조끼 열기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 안다리 차놓기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is designed for kicking the opponent's shin with your instep. First, turn your instep outward 45 degrees. Then push the target area using your body weight by slightly leaning backward.
안다리 차놓기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 뒤꿈치 하드를 해보기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
The purpose of this technique is to kick to the rear ankle deceptively using your lower leg. Kicking takes place from in to out. The target is the rear ankle and weapons are your shin, ball, or back of your foot.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 복부 하단 거시기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is to kick the lower limb of the opponent with your foot blade. First, lower your stance slightly and kick from outside to the inside toward the opponent's ankle or shin.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 옆전시기 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
The low side kick is to strike the kneecap or shin using the foot blade. Bend the standing knee for maximum balance and enhanced power. The goal of this technique is to attack the rear or side of the opponent's lower leg using your heel. Since this technique is for close combat, you need to bend the kicking knee tightly. This technique is to block the opponent's kicking leg from inside to outside clockwise. You can use the outside of your leg or foot blade for contact. This technique is done in the manner that you are cutting the opponent's body in half using the foot blade. Keep your body upright when you raise your leg. Lean the upper body backward when you kick. This technique is to slap the face with the bottom of your foot. First, bring your knee up bending, then snap the foot from outside to inside to the face. This technique is for kicking the opponent's collarbone or face with your heel. This technique has fatally destructive power, so you must be careful in the usage. This technique is to kick upward along the central line of the opponent's body with the foot blade. Pull your toe toward you. Expose the foot blade as much as possible. This technique is to use a side kick to attack the face or neck. First, turn your body and bring the knee toward the center, and snap the foot to the target forcefully. This is a fast and powerful technique that uses the torque and elastic force to strike the target. The power comes from the muscle twist and the timing of the final execution. This technique is to attack the face of the opponent with your heel. This is a surprise kicking method that travels from outside to inside, then from inside to outside. This is a side kick that is done after a 180-degree rear turn. This is used for a surprise attack or counterattack. You must monitor the opponent's movement over your shoulder when you turn back. This technique is also used for a surprise attack toward the opponent in the rear. It must be done quickly, and you need to adjust the target distance by instinctive jumping. You must monitor the opponent's movement over your shoulder when you turn back for precision. This technique is used for warming up exercises, or offensive and defensive technique for close combat. Bring your knee as high as you can and project it forward as far as you can.
조끼 들고 지가시. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is to distract the opponent's attention by kicking the low section and then attacking the face. When you kick the low section, make it short and quick. For the high kick, make it long and powerful.
둘, 셋, 넷. 조끼 지르고 암 야채. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is to distract the opponent's attention by kicking the low section and then attacking the trunk or face with a side kick. For the side kick, turn your body entirely to the side and thrust deeply into the opponent's body.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 조끼 들고 옆옆씩. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is to attack the opponent in the front with a low kick, then to the trunk or face of the opponent to the side with a side kick. For this technique, you must combine a good sense of balance with power control.
둘, 셋, 넷. 조끼 들고 뒤옆씩. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
This technique is to kick the low section in the front and then attacking the trunk or face with a side kick to the rear opponent. For this combination, you must center yourself at all times so that you don't overextend your leg.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 안다리 제거 바꿔야지. 하나, 둘,
This technique is to attack the face from the outside with an inside crescent kick. Outside crescent kick is a circular whipping kick to the face from inside to outside. This technique must be done quickly without hesitation.
안다리 차고 앞옆 하나 둘 셋 넷
This technique is to attack the face from the outside with an inside crescent kick and the trunk or face with a side kick. In fighting, you need to be careful with the distance control between the kicks.
나가지고 뒤에서 하나 둘 셋.
This technique is to block the kicking leg from inside to outside and attack the face with a roundhouse kick. The challenge of this technique is in timing the beat between the first and second technique.
둘, 셋, 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘.
This technique is to attack the leg with your heel quickly and shortly, then the low front section with a foot snap kick.
하나, 둘, 하나, 둘. 족도 하던 거를 잡고 뒤꿈치 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘.
This technique is to unbalance the opponent by kicking the ankle with the blade of your foot, then attack the face with a heel kick. You must maintain good balance and control the distance at all times.
앞서고 뒤에서 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘.
This technique is to attack the middle or high section of the opponent and then kick the trunk or face with a roundhouse kick. In fighting, this type of combination must be used confidently and swiftly.
하나, 둘, 하나, 둘. 유연창이 오른발에 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘.
This technique is to attack the opponent from both outside directions consecutively with roundhouse kicks. This technique is powerful and easy to use, so it is a popular combination in competition and street fight.
둘,
This is an advanced kicking skill to attack the low section with a foot snap kick and the face with a roundhouse kick in the air. This technique must be done as a surprise attack, and you should execute it confidently. This technique is to penetrate the opponent's defense by a powerful roundhouse kick, and then knock him out with a spinning heel kick. The power of this technique comes from the elastic torque of your muscles and posture, so you must stretch daily for ultimate flexibility. This technique is to attack to the right and left directions consecutively. The first kick is a transitory attack, so you need to have strong leg muscles and spatial balance. This is an advanced technique to attack the opponent in the front deceptively and quickly with your foot snap kick, and then to the rear with a jump side kick as the first foot lands on the ground. This technique is a very powerful movement that has three important elements. The first is the kinetic force that comes from the synchronization of the entire body. The second is the explosive power that flows from the compressed energy in Danjun. The third is the elastic force that comes from the muscle torque and flexibility. When these three factors are well combined, this technique is deadly. This technique utilizes accelerated force of the moving body. Jump slightly and let the body spin, and then let it whip the target with explosive power. When you jump, release the compressed energy from the danjun through your leg. Keep your torso as upright as possible. This is a deceptive attack to the lower leg, followed by a low spinning kick to knock down the opponent. This technique must be done quickly, without hesitation. Don't forget to protect your face at all times. This is an advanced jump kick that requires a total integration of your physical and mental ability. In the air, you must integrate your energy into the danjun and free your feet. Put your knees and feet together. After kicking, release your energy for safe landing. This technique is to attack the lower leg with a roundhouse kick and the opposite side with a spinning heel kick. If you kick with your right leg, lean your body toward the left and put both hands on the ground for balance. When you turn, spot the target quickly over your shoulder. This kick is to hit the target with a 2-foot front kick in the air. Maximize the amount of elastic force of your ankle and stomach muscles for a high jump. Once you are in the air, deliver the compressed energy from the danjun to the target. This kick is to hit the target with a 2-foot split front kick in the air. Squat, raise your arms, jump, raise your feet into the air, bring your arms down, kick, and land. In the air, you should erect your torso and free your feet. This technique is to kick 2 targets at opposite sides with split kicks. For balance and longer flying time, you should lean your body to the opposite direction of the first kick. This technique is to strike the high, middle, and low section targets consecutively with spinning heel kicks. For power and precision, lower your balance, readjust moving distance, and spot the target quickly. This is an advanced kicking technique to knock down the opponent by throwing your entire body onto his chest. Jump, bring both feet together, and stomp on the target. This is a combination of hooking and kicking techniques that is geared to confuse and surprise the opponent. The primary goal of this technique is to demonstrate strategical, psychological, and technical superiority of your skills. This is a knockdown technique done by hooking the front leg and kicking the upper body. This technique may not work against runners, so you need to have excellent distance control and timing. This is a surprise maneuver to hook the opponent's front leg and take him down. First, slide in, hook his ankle with your rear foot, and kick his calf with your front foot simultaneously, and keep twisting and rolling your body. For a successful result, move in with a continuous flow without hesitation. This technique is a right-left, right-kick combination that requires ultimate coordination in the air. Danjun breathing can enhance the ability to control the power in this arrow kick combination. This combination is 3 spinning heel kicks to the high, middle, and low sections, and 1 jump turn roundhouse kick to the over-the-head target. You can maximize power by accelerating the centrifugal force and stabilize your body by increasing the centripetal force and adjusting the arms and the angle of the axle of the torso. This technique is a combination of fundamental skills and applications of Hapkido. It is the ultimate level of personal development. Therefore, this is one of the most popular techniques in the public performance. This technique is for throwing the opponent outward by twisting the wrist clockwise. When you throw, lower your balance and let his body travel along the centripetal force line. First, grab the wrist with 2 hands. Press the upper part of his wrist with the first inside knuckle of your index finger and press him down to the ground. When you grab his wrist, twist it vertically and hold it firmly against your shoulder. Use your other hand to bend his elbow and press it to the ground.
손가락 받쳐주고 손목 꺾어주기.
First, raise his wrist and press your palm firmly on the back of his fingers. Bend and press down his wrist with the other hand.
손등 받쳐주고 비벼서 손목 꺾어주기.
Circulate his wrist inward and grab the wrist. Wrap his hand with the other hand and pull his body toward you while you move your body slightly to the side. On the ground, control his arm with your knee.
손 살려서 팔꿈치 밀어줘서 튕겨주기.
Twist his wrist first and make him defensive. As soon as he reacts, push his elbow toward him. Use your body weight to magnify your pushing force.
반대 손목 잡고 들어가면서 손목 꺾어주기.
When he moves in for grabbing, grab the opposite wrist and spin under his armpit. Pull his hand downward and then toward you when he falls. Once he hits the ground, press your knee on his arm or shoulder.
손 틀어서 잡고 겨드랑이 쪽으로 밀어 꺾어 올리며 들어가서 다시 꺾어주기.
First, grab and twist his wrist, then push it upward. When you feel you are in control, quickly spin around to take him down. On the floor, use your knee to further control the game.
겨드랑이 밑으로 들어가면서 엄지손가락 꺾어주기.
Grab the wrist with two hands and twist it in to out while spinning your body. Hold his thumb firmly to cause more pain in the region.
손가락 잡고 들어가면서 손목 꺾어주기.
Grab the wrist and spin down under his armpit while controlling his arm. Once you get to his rear side, lower your body and push his wrist upward.
어깨로
Grab his wrist and take your hand out. Then step forward while you are wrapping his wrist with your hands and pushing his elbow with your shoulder. It is important to know the fundamental principles in grappling. When the opponent pushes you, you must pull him. When he pulls you, you must push him. Do not try to throw a bigger opponent, rather, lower your body and utilize his weight against him. When you cannot control him with minute muscle force, use the entire body force and close in. Once you initiate the action, you have a chance to exercise your technique. So remember, control first and then technique. Another way to control the opponent's force is by spinning your body outward or inward. When you spin your body into the opponent, it is called ne huejan. When you spin outwardly, it is called wei huejan. First, step in and break his fingers upward. Then, spin outward and take him down.
돌을 잡고 촉골부로 촉골로 상대방 천내의 혈에다.
First, rotate your grabbed wrist to break his wrist. Press his elbow toward his feet with your forearm.
왼손은 손등부에 잡고 쑥 올려서 상대방 손 놓아 틀었고 저 무릎으로 팔꿈치 눌러 제압을 해주십니다.
With your left hand, grab his right thumb and twist it outward. With your right forearm, press his wrist. On the ground, press his elbow with your knee.
겨드랑 밑으로 빠져 돌아 손목 꺾기.
Grab his thumb and wrist with both hands. Go under his armpit and spin around. Control his wrist by maintaining the right angle.
겨드랑 밑으로 들어가 끼어안은 상태에서 손목 꺾기.
First, grab his wrist and rotate your arm over his elbow and press it with your armpit.
안으로 돌아 꺾기. 안으로 돌아 손목 꺾기.
Step across his body while holding his wrist. Spin under his arm and twist his wrist outward.
뒤로
Rotate your arm upward to create tension on his elbow. Bring his arms over your head. Throw him over your back to the opposite side of the ground. On the ground, control his arm with your knee.
아야!
허리 하나 던지고.
Rotate your arm upward to create tension on his elbow. Grab his waist and snap your hip and throw him to the ground. For balancing, lower your body when you throw.
꺾어 잡았을 때 팔꿈치 가마 꺾기.
First, bend your wrist inward to grab his wrist. Twist it outward and turn your body and wrap his elbow with your arm.
틀어잡아 칼넣기.
First, twist his wrist clockwise and grab his wrist with the other hand and press his elbow vertically downward. Then, press his elbow with your knee on the ground.
뒤로 돌아가 수모 걷기.
Pull his wrist and step in and turn around. Twist his wrist against your back when you turn around. Use your body weight and turning momentum and throw him away.
바꿔 들어 수모 걷기.
Grab his wrist and push your hand out of the grip. Spin your body counterclockwise and control his wrist. Use your ki energy to keep his wrist under control.
팔꿈치 꺾기.
Grab his wrist and pull your hand out of the grip. Position your arm under his elbow and wrap it firmly against your body. Lower your body and throw him over your shoulder.
목 감아 던지기.
Grab his wrist and pull your hand out of the grip. Step in and hook his neck in your arm and throw him around your body.
팔꿈치 꽈서 꺾기.
Grab his wrist and pull one hand out of the grip. Hold both of his wrists and cross them against each other and throw him. On the ground, use your knee to control his elbow.
내전 들어 손목. 내전 들어 손목.
Press his fingers upward for initial control. Step in and spin under his arm and take him down. Insert your arm under his forearm and press his shoulder down for an arm lock.
그러다가 상대방 손가락 잡아 뒤로 돌아.
Circulate your left hand inward and escape from his grip. Grab his fingers and wrist and spin under his arm.
손목 꺾고 돌아서 팔꿈치 꺾고 또 돌아서 와서 꺾어주고.
Quickly twist your left wrist upward and grab his thumb with your right hand. Now grab both of his wrists and turn around. Press his elbows against your arms for an elbow lock. Turn around again and cross his arms against each other and throw.
꼬마서 뒤로 그래 던지고.
Position your leg behind his legs. Lower your body and throw him to the rear by rotating your upper body.
전면 한번 던지고.
Step in and escape your wrist. Grab both of his arms, lower your body, and pull his arm toward you and throw him to the ground. Move in as closely as possible and lift his body. Then quickly rotate your upper body to the right while sweeping his leg with your right instep and drop him.
발 잡아 뒤로 밀어 던지기.
Sweep his leg and take him down. Hold his legs and roll his body over and break the back. This is a very dangerous technique. You must use extreme caution.
팔꿈치 꺾어 던지기.
Circulate your left wrist, hold his elbow, and throw him over your shoulder. This technique is popular for self-defense. Always lower your body when you throw.
손목 꺾어 던지기.
First, make a wrist lock and push his elbow into a reverse L shape. Position your hip close to him and throw him over your shoulder.
가라데에 손 들어 던지기.
Position your right leg behind his legs and throw him to the rear with your right arm.
힙 들어 던지기.
Move in close and grab his belt or hip and throw him over.
팔꿈치 꺾어 사방 던지기.
Step in and do an elbow lock on your shoulder and throw him to the right.
팔꿈치 꺾어 좌로 던지기.
Step in and do an elbow lock on your shoulder and throw him to the left.
손 감아서 손목 꺾어주고 손등으로 쳐주고.
Grab his wrist and wrap it around with your other arm. Then, a reverse backhand strike to the face or a knee kick to the head or chest.
팔꿈치 꺾어주기.
Simply grab his elbow and press it down. This is a simple but effective technique.
손목 꺾어주기.
Grab the wrist and twist to the left. Press the elbow with the other hand down simultaneously. This is a painful and effective technique.
밖으로 손목 꺾어 팔꿈치 무릎으로 눌러주게.
Grab his wrist and rotate your body clockwise down. Press his elbow with your knee on the ground.
옆차면서 손목 꺾어주게.
Do a quick side kick to the rib cage and press his wrist down while using your body weight.
손목에다 아웅 놓고 들어가면서 전면으로 치.
Grab his wrist and step in and position your shoulder under his elbow. Pull his arm and lower your body and throw him over your shoulder.
반대로 손목 꺾어주기.
Press the back of his thumb with your left hand and throw him clockwise. Your right hand continues to press his wrist for maximum control.
손목 잡고 틀어서
Bring his wrist up and grab it with the other hand. Twist the wrist and press it with your armpit.
손등 받쳐서 팔꿈치를 손목 꺾어주기.
Press the back of his hand and press his wrist with the bottom of the other forearm vertically downward. This is a delicate and effective advanced skill.
턱 밀어 던지기.
Pull his waist with your left hand and push his chin with your right hand. This is a good way to break his balance in close distance.
목 뒤로.
Press the neck vital points with your thumbs and push his head away from you with your fingers.
팔꿈치 꺾어. 당겨서 팔꿈치 다시 꺾여.
Turn your body and press his elbow with your hands. When his body drops, do a knee kick to the face. Use caution in practice for the safety of your partner.
손목 꺾여.
Turn and grab his wrist with your left hand. Switch hands and keep his elbow resting on the side of your right elbow. Throw him down and do a further control with your knee.
몸 돌아. 칼로.
Open your arms wide and turn around. Grab his wrist and press the elbow. On the ground, use your knee to control his arm.
손목 들어 꺾어.
Grab one of his wrists over your head. Lock his wrist horizontally over his shoulder. Use the other hand to control his elbow. Then, suddenly bring his wrist down to the ground by pulling his wrist and pressing the elbow. Position your right leg behind his legs and push his neck to the rear. On the ground, twist his arm for better control. Then use your knee to press it.
팔꿈치 바닥 낀 상태에서 손목을 틀어 올려 꺾여.
Twist his wrist with his thumb facing downward. Lower your body as you break his wrist upward. Then, pivot your body 270 degrees counterclockwise, kick the chest, and press his elbow with your shin and knee.
손가락 잡아 틀어 꺾기.
Press his hands with your palm heels. Grab one or more fingers and hyperextend them. When you are in complete control, sweep his leg and take him down to the ground.
꼭 잡고 숨 틀어 손가락 꺾은 다음 손목 꺾고 발로 차고
Press Hapkido, the vital point between the thumb and index fingers. Pivot your body and get out of the lock. Kick the chest and press his arm with your shin.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 클럭기.
Parry and grab the wrist and press his elbow with your forearm. Press his arm with your knee on the ground.
주먹 그대로 막으면서 꺾어주기.
Trap the fist and wrist with both forearms. Twist his arm down and press the elbow to the ground.
주먹 오른손으로 막으면서 틀어서 손목 꺾어주기.
Block and grab the wrist. Hold it vertically and rotate your body.
들어오는 주먹 양손으로 맞고 한 발 들어가면서 손목 꺾어주기.
Block and grab the wrist. Twist it downward and press toward his body using your body weight.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 발등으로 가슴 치고 팔꿈치 꺾어주기.
Block and grab the wrist. Kick the chest and press his elbow with your leg.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 팔꿈치 관절 꺾어주기.
Block and grab the wrist. Pull his elbow from outside downward.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 손목 말아서 꺾으면서 내회전하면서 다시 꺾어주기.
Block and grab the wrist. Wrap his fist with the other hand and press upward. Twist it down and press it perpendicularly to the ground.
들어오는 주먹 X로 맞고 겨드랑이에 넣어 팔꿈치 꺾어주기.
Press and grab his wrist. Twist it and press with your armpit.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 팔꿈치 꺾어서
Block inward and scoop it up while pressing the elbow with the other hand. Press his back downward and pull his forehead.
들어오는 주먹 막으면서 수도로 손목 쳐.
Block his wrist and strike his wrist with a knife hand strike.
들어오는 주먹 막으면서 정권으로 관자놀이 쳐주기.
Block his wrist and strike the temple with your back fist simultaneously.
들어오는 주먹 막으면서 수도로 목덜미 쳐주기.
Block his wrist and strike the back of his neck with a knife hand strike.
좌수로 들어오는 주먹 맞고 역수도로 안면 쳐주기.
Block his wrist and strike his face with a reverse knife hand strike.
들어오는 주먹 맞고 원을 그리면서 턱 쳐 올려주기.
Block his wrist and make a circular uppercut punch to the jaw.
들어오는 주먹 감싸 안으면서 돌면서 팔꿈치로 늑골 쳐주고 다시 돌면서 주먹으로 늑골 쳐주기.
Do an inside block and turn around and do an elbow strike to the kidney. Continue the spin and punch to the back.
들어온 쪽 잡아당겨 목 걸어당겨.
Block and pull the neck. Sweep his leg and throw him into the air. Press his arm with your knee on the ground.
좀 막아 팔꿈치 꺾어 던지기.
Block and trap his elbow. Then throw him over your shoulder. This is a popular self-defense technique for its effectiveness.
주먹을 고래로 받아 당겨.
Block and grab his wrist. Pull it downward and throw him onto the ground. You must utilize the principles of centrifugal and centripetal forces.
주먹도 바로 잡아. 거리 감싸. 어머 던지기.
Block and grab his wrist. Then throw him over to the ground. Use the momentum of your hip motion for a powerful throw.
들어온 주먹 잡아. 목 감아 잡아서.
Block and grab his neck. Throw him over your shoulder and then control his arm with your knee.
X로 당겨맞기.
Block the kick with your crossed forearms. Then pull it.
X로 눌러맞기.
Block the kick with your crossed forearms. The striking target is the ankle bone.
바로 비켜 내려맞기.
Move to the left side and drop your right arm and block the kick.
무릎 비켜 내려맞기.
Move to the right side and drop your left arm and block the kick.
손으로 감아서 당기기.
Open your hands and wrap the foot. Then pull it toward you.
무릎을 받아서 발 무릎 눌러 꺾기.
Scoop and grab the kicking leg with your right hand. Then wrap his leg with your right leg and press down.
아래로 맞고 발목 감아서 돌려 꺾기.
Brush and block the kicking leg. Grab the ankle with both hands. Twist it clockwise into the air and throw him. Then step on his left ankle and twist his right ankle in the air.
X로 막어 발목 감아서 당겨 꺾기.
Cross block and rotate the kicking leg. Lock the calf with your left forearm and pull it toward you.
아래 비켜 맞고 칼 넣고 발 걸어서 머리 당기기.
First, do a scoop block with your right arm. Do a forearm press on his rear knee. Twist and lock his leg with your leg. Pull his hair and finish the situation.
발목으로 막어, 발목 눌러 꺾기.
Block and grab the kicking leg. Pull and break the ankle downward. Twist and lock his leg with your leg. Pull his hair from the rear.
들어오는 발 맞고 짚게 올리면서 수도로 장단지 내려쳐주기.
Do a scooping block and hold the kicking leg and attack the side of the calf with a knife hand strike.
들어오는 발 감아서 맞고 발로 가슴 쳐주기.
Do a scooping block and hold the kicking leg. Make a quick inside crescent kick to the solar plexus. This is a surprise attack.
들어오는 발 맞고 안다리 차 넣기.
Do a scooping block and grab his shoulder. Make an inside sweeping kick to his shin.
들어오는 발 팔꿈치를 발등찍어 주기.
Do a block and elbow strike simultaneously on his ankle.
들어오는 거 발쪽도로 막아주기.
Make a quick outside crescent kick with the blade of your foot onto the side of his calf.
옆차게 들어면 아래서 내려막 감싸고 뛰어들면서 오른발로 상대방 발을
First, do a scooping block. Then, sweep his leg up into the air and throw him as far as you can.
옆차기로 X를 막아 잡아서 당겨 돌려 던지기.
Do a cross forearm block and grab his foot. Pull and spin him around to the ground.
옆차기로 들어오는 걸 감아서 잡아 당겨 밀어 던지기.
Block and grab his leg. Then push it away to the direction where he came from.
그래도 촉골을 가만 잡고 회전하면 오른발을 걸어 촉골으로 발목과 대퇴부를 꺾어서 제압합니다.
Block and scoop the kicking leg. Spin him down and do a leg lock with your right arm.
찍어쳐야 나올 때 맞고 최대한 발을 잡아당겨 어깨를 밀어당깁니다.
Block the kick and step in. Grab the standing leg and push it with your shoulder.
맞고 유혹을 보러 당겨 상대방은 발목 당겨.
Block and do an elbow strike to the kicking leg. Trap the calf with your forearm and press downward.
쳐야 될 때 맞고 축이된 발을 오른발 족도로 차놓고 오른손으로 연목치기.
Block and grab the kicking leg. Do a side kick to the knee. Finish it with a knife hand strike to the rear neck.